If you're not already aware, gambling is a major thing with games, and you can actually gamble to buy games itself, with AAA games being hidden within mystery bundles, with Steam keys being provided on purchase. But how effective are these mystery bundles at giving away AAA titles? Well, in my experience, I haven't been able to obtain any AAA games. But that doesn't mean that these bundles are a waste, as I've been able to obtain multiple indie gems, with me showing a few of them off today. And if you like any of the titles today, then be sure to comment down below, as I have spare copies of these codes. Now, the first game on the list is Sticky Business. This game revolves around you making your own sticker business and creating stickers to ship out to unexpected customers. You get to design your own shop name, your own person name, and be able to understand what it takes to run your own sticker business. So I started off by creating my first sticker, and what better way of creating stickers than it being about games. And with this first sticker created, it means that I have to sleep, as this game revolves around a working day cycle where you can only do so much per day. At first, I didn't realise that you could just click the sticker and it automatically go on the sheet in the best way, so I decided to drag out these stickers, and it took me a rather long time to fill up the sheet. Please, if you're playing this game, do not do this, as this was my own mistake. After your sticker sheet is done, you can print it off and you'll have the stickers automatically cut out for you, eliminating the real life hassle that you'd have running a sticker business. After selling some of your stickers and creating new ones, you get points, which means you can spend it on different upgrades or different new stickers to unlock. After a short amount of time, I figured out that making small stickers is the best way for profit. As you can see at the top left, the profit is going up while the cost is remaining the same. After you've printed out all the stickers, you get a list of the ones that each customer wants in the bottom left when you start to pack your orders. Now, you can make this experience completely unique by adding extra stickers or changing up the filling or paper, or even adding extra sweets, for example, to each of your customers to make them happy. And each printed sticker sheet is saved, so it makes your life a lot easier. The game is a great game. It isn't meant to be overly bearing or difficult in any such way, and especially at the start, it sort of eases you in sort of how to teach you how to make stickers and run your own business in real life as well. My partner owns her own sticker business, so I can see a lot of these elements being used in real life with cry cut machines, sticker sheets, and all the similar range. So buying this game, or even just playing it for a short while, will get you to understand the sort of terminology and the sort of business mindset it takes to run a sticker shop. The difficulty of trying to fit every little sticker on a single sticker sheet to maximize profit isn't needed, but is very much a fun sort of exercise, and chucking in extra stickers to every order, which I like doing, makes the customers very happy and helps you get your new unlocks a lot quicker. And with that, let's move on to our next game. Taking a complete turn, we are taking a look at Neon Abyss, a roguelike cyberpunk-esque shooter which revolves around some similar mechanics to Binding of Isaac and other similar roguelikes, but adding their own twist. This is done in the use of eggs and crystals, which is a really odd statement, but is completely valid. Now, when you defeat enemies in this game, they have a chance of dropping eggs, and eggs are used as a random chance of having temporary abilities. You don't know if the egg is actually going to hatch to have a certain ability or certain character, with the character staying around for a short while and then disappearing after a certain number of rooms or after a certain event. Each egg's abilities can range from having a higher jump or having more damage to something random like shooting bullets at enemies for you. But you won't know what the egg does until the character hatches out of it. The game runs similar to other roguelikes where you have to defeat the boss of each level to descend to the next area. Bosses are developed to revolve around certain themes or characters from real life. Whether this be a certain fast food character or the physical manifestation of social media, bosses are highly creative with different movesets, keeping you on your toes all the time. The overall game is very good, with having a high degree of randomization, whether it be the abilities, eggs, or guns that are also available, having multiple different abilities and multiple different moves, keeping you on your toes at all times. The crystal mechanic that was briefly discussed upon adds a certain flair to the game, whether it being used to activate certain abilities of your guns or whether it's being used to activate certain doors such as accessing the shop. Neon Abyss is a great game and I'm looking forward to number 2 when it comes out very soon. This is a game I had on my radar for a short while, and yes, that is a radio pun, as this is Radio Commander. A game all about moving your units without ever seeing them, as you have to radio through and ask them their position all the time. I did have some difficulty playing this game, and it wasn't because of any sort of performance issues, but rather that the controls were a bit awkward to use, at least for myself. I absolutely loved the premise and I absolutely loved the execution as well. However, I think from my personal experience, the controls are a bit too clunky for a casual gamer, and as such I can only recommend this game for people that like highly strategic board games or other games that are very similar, and also like the theme in which this game is set on. I must say that the voice acting, although a bit clunky, is very nice to have, and it does make the game a lot more interesting. Previous games, although completely different, had a sort of flair to it, and the execution was really well done. I'm not sure how this game can enhance upon any sort of mechanics, however, as I only played the short brief intro, I think it might expand later on, as there's more events and more calls that come in, but as you can see here, this is what most of the game will encapsulate, is you looking at a top-down map and taking in calls from certain people. This game is not for myself, but I think this game will have a good solid crowd for people that like these sort of games. The next game on our list is Space Crew Legendary Edition. Now this game is similar to FTL, however unlike FTL, it is a mission-based game. What this means is it takes inspiration from games like XCOM also, where you customize your crewmates with different gear and level them up over time, sending them on different missions and different activities throughout the game. Now I had good fun playing this game, however I do prefer FTL, as the mechanics in this game are a bit more towards the XCOM and sort of EVE Online elements, where you have to do a bit more manual intervention rather than letting the fights play out. So if you like these sort of games where you have to intervene a bit more and move stuff around and be a bit more tactical, then this game is definitely for you. And while Space Crew does take on a lot of different mechanics and controls, it does have a pretty good core gameplay loop where you have to bring back your ship and your crewmates and level them up over time and customize them to how you want. If you're a fan of simple space games, then this is a perfect game for you. And with that, I will highly recommend this game, and let's move on to the next one. Now this is God Trigger, a game which is very similar to Hotline Miami and other similar games of this category, which revolves around a top-down level-based shooter, but where this game differs is you have 2 characters and can level up your characters based on specific stats as well. Now Harry and Judy only level up if you use them within the level, but what makes God Trigger unique is that each character has a special ability, whether it being Harry being able to go invisible or Judy being able to mind control the enemies. Now you can only use these abilities after you've defeated a certain number of enemies. This is to make sure that you don't completely steamroll through the levels and beat them within seconds. But there are other mechanics that you can use, such as picking up weapons, finding secret weapons that are based per level, or swapping on the fly between Harry and Judy within the level, as one is more focused on melee, whereas the other, Judy, has more long range. There's not that many levels based in the game, but there is a 2-player co-op mode, and also a random roguelike mode called Arcade, which you can run through and try and get the best time possible. Including this, there's a full-length campaign, however I've only spent a brief time in the campaign, so I can't comment on that, but from my brief time in it, it was very good. I would highly recommend God Trigger as there is quite a lot to do, and if you get it within the bundle, it's relatively cheap. Now going into 2D and Top D, I had no clue what I was going to expect. The story starts off with this guy named Alf, and he's the creator of the universe. Now Alf realizes that the worlds are unstable, so he creates the semicolon, which uses its force to keep the worlds in balance. But by doing this, he doesn't realize that he accidentally made glitches, which are little beings that cause chaos on his worlds. And this is where he creates To Do. Now only while I'm recording this, I've realized that To Do looks like a to-do list, and that's because his job is to create order in the world. But To Do realizes that if there's no more glitches, then Alf won't need him anymore. So he does what any reasonable person would do and completely steals the semicolon. This causes all the worlds to suddenly become merged together, causing all the unique glitches to go crazy and for our story to truly begin. Enter Top D and 2D, which are our two main characters in the game, and their whole mechanics rely around the two planes that they walk on. One character has the 2D plane, whereas one character has a top-down menu, hence Top D. The aim of the game is to get through each level, with both of your characters helping each other out. A quick button press means that you can swap between them, with each level introducing new problems or a new mechanic that you have to try and figure out how to get around. The game was an absolute blast to play, although I've only played it for a short period of time, completing the first chapter of the game. Typically this wouldn't be a game that I decide to pick up, however because it was part of the mystery bundle, I had the absolute pleasure of randomly experiencing this gem of a game, and I would absolutely highly recommend it, as it is a great single player or co-op platformer. And we are on to our final game of the video. This is Tungska? I don't really know how to say it correctly, but it takes heavy inspiration from the Stalker franchise. You start off by designing your character and deciding what sort of occupation they previously had, before deciding to become a journalist. You start the game in your office where you go and speak to your boss. However, I quickly realised that you can just spam the same message and figure out that your boss has dementia. After progressing the story, you realise that you have to go to this place to report upon a story. Now, I'm not sure what is wrong with this place, but similarly to my boss, a lot of the people repeat the same conversation lines. After figuring out I had to speak to someone here called Razor, I spoke with him and got a quest to go to the old mill. The tutorial told me to sit down at the campfire and listen to some stories and regain stamina, even though the game just started, but it's good to know that I can do this. And this is where the game sort of gave me a problem, which I didn't realise would be a problem, but I accidentally removed the batteries from my headlamp and had no idea on how to put them back in. The game is a bit clunky, but it does do well in certain aspects. The style and setting of the game is phenomenal. I have no clue why I'm here, but you can sort of tell that everything is very difficult and is out to get you. And with no way to actually do damage, I had to rely upon the NPCs to try and defeat the monsters. After a while, I did try to steal the shotgun, however the guy didn't let me take it, so I just gave up after a while. And I didn't realise that I wasn't allowed to move to the next area until the enemies had been defeated or at least gotten out of the way, which meant whenever I was clicking on this button it didn't do anything apart from giving me a prompt in the bottom left, which I had no clue was there. I decided to run back and get the NPC to help me kill the zombie, hoping that he wouldn't accidentally kill me instead, and I went on my way to the next area. And this is where the game got a lot more difficult. This game, although being brutal, is a joy to play as it is difficult but rewarding. Certain parts of the game do feel a tad bit clunky, but with the sequel on its way, it's hoping to iron out a lot of these issues. I personally had a good time playing this game, with its certain looting mechanics and certain aspects of combat being a little bit more intense. But there were certain aspects such as the way monsters would follow you and certain things around that, which was a bit annoying to say the least. And that's not just because I got spawn camped by a wolf. So, are mystery bundles worth it? Well, I'd say so if you don't have a large gaming collection and the risk of having duplicate keys are a lot lower. Certain websites offer better deals and better selections of mystery games such as Fanatical when compared to other competitors such as G2A. But that's not to say that any one company is better than the other when deciding to go for mystery bundles. This is because you're buying a mystery bundle and you don't know what you're going to get anyways, meaning the value will be completely random in most cases. Please do not buy these mystery bundles thinking you're getting a good deal, but rather as a way to experience unique gems and unique games that you might not have experienced otherwise. If you're trying to get a specific game, it is typically cheaper to buy it on a certain website at a lower cost rather than gamble and try and get it through a mystery bundle like so. Let me know which game you like the most, and I'll be picking random comments to give away certain codes for the games that I played today and codes that I have extra from the mystery bundles I purchased. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.